Welcome to Arcade Attack. A retro gaming podcast for up to 4 players.
Sonic Boom!
Welcome, listeners, to another Arcade Attack podcast. I'm Dylan, and I'll be your host for today. I'm with Keith.
It's in the game.
Oh, clue. I'm with James.
Gola!
Almost a football Italia little soundbite there.
Well, no, that was, wasn't it?
No, it was Golazzo. That was a really bad impression anyway. And I'm with Adrian. No, Adrian. Adrian is joining via the medium of text message, so he can filter through his choices via here. So why are we here today, gentlemen? Why are we here today?
Tell me.
We've been mithering this subject a long time. And I had a different podcast plan, but, you know, in my infinite wisdom, I like to make things up on the fly. So I thought, why not get everyone's top 5 16-bit sports games?
Yeah, okay.
And let's chat about them and argue about them, and let's get to the
bottom of the matter.
Exactly.
If anyone remembers the 16-bit, what was it? No, the side-scrolling beat 'em up. Let's get to the bottom of the matter.
But then we will get to
Greatest
the bottom
intro
of the
ever.
Exactly. Thanks, mate. Thanks. So we've got our top 5s, haven't we? We're ready. We're prepared.
Oh, yeah.
So the rules of this loosely are that these are 16-bit sports games, and maybe Amiga as well, because basically the Amiga, even though it wasn't a 16-bit console as such, it was a 1 meg or 2 meg computer, and thus had a lot of these games on
PC.
And PC as well, MS-DOS if you prefer.
I have a question.
Okay, all right. Okay, what's the question?
Oh, here we go.
Neo Geo.
Neo Geo. That how many bits was the Neo Geo?
Well, I'm not.
Lots.
Well, technically, it wasn't 16-bit, but
More.
it was the same era, and I don't know. Like,
You got people shouting.
it could be 24-bit. I think
it sits on a bit of a pedestal, doesn't it?
I can rearrange my selection.
Shall we just
but I wasn't
ask Alexa? Hang on. Wait a second. Alexa, how many bits was the Neo Geo? Was it MVS? Here we go. It was a 24-bit system. Thank you, Alexa.
Just cleared that up.
We love robots.
We do,
FYI,
yeah.
we do love robots. We all have nothing bad to say about robots, and the robots will never come and get us.
And when they rise, we will be their friends.
Exactly. We may.
That may or may not be a segue into a future podcast of Dylan's reading of Rise of the Robots.
I think that's done. But I'm going to read the rest of the novel myself, and you'll just have to read my mind to hear the rest of it.
Review.
Okay, no Neo Geo games.
No Neo Geo. Sorry,
Fine.
Keith.
That's fine.
That was really quite definitive.
It was.
I think Keith's top 5 is now a top 3.
No, it's still a top 5. It's still a top 5.
Okay,
I
good,
prepared
good.
for this eventuality.
So without much further ado, I'll kick things off.
Go.
I'll kick things off, and then basically we'll chip in. If any of these are in your top 5s, then just say, and then obviously we can skip it after.
Get the pen ready.
So these are the ultimate. We do the ultimate lists.
Definitive.
Set in stone.
Set in stone. You don't want to play anything else other than this.
No.
My 5 is, Keith alluded to it earlier. It's in the game. It's FIFA International Soccer on the Mega Drive. The first one. Now, my reasons are twofold. One, because I'd never seen a football game ever done well on a console before that point. And two, it only pips 95 because I mostly had 94, and I mostly played all of the World Cup bits on it, and stuff. Even with Qatar on it. That's weird.
Qatar,
it's
yeah.
weird that they're on that.
Ooh, topical.
It is, and they were on it. And I read the worst game.
Nicely tied in.
I reckon, and that's the first time I was aware of Qatar's existence.
Exactly, and so it was teaching
and their
us
funky
as well.
flag with the purpley bit with the zigzag line.
It was just mad, isn't it? Yeah. It's just mad. Right.
So if that is your flag, I do apologise.
Squiggly.
That thing with the side, the bits and the colour, and
this is with a squiggly biggly. Actually, before I continue, I just forgot something. So I wanted to do a little shout out. So at work we have a fantasy football league thing, and I also run my own one with the boys here. And I was chatting to my mate Gavin the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to win this," and I was like, "Well, there's a shame there can't be a prize." And he was like, "Well, Dill, you do a podcast." I'm like, "Okay, well, here we go." So basically, well done, Gavin, for winning the PPF Fantasy Super Bowl League. I think that's what it's called. Well done, saying.
Well done,
Gavin.
Yeah. Your name has now been announced on the world famous Arcade Attack podcast. I mean, we are world famous. We're famous in many countries.
Yeah.
Just not many people in those countries.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll take that.
We'll take it, man. We are the world
famous. So
famous
his name's
Arcade
been immortalised now.
Now, Gavin,
forever.
there you are, mate. Gavin Hicks, there you
We'll
are.
send you a sticker.
And also, it'll be rude for me not to mention Lawrence Pawley, who won the one with me and my mates here. So very well done,
Well done,
mate.
Loz.
He's a big Birds fan. I'm sure the Eagles will do well this year. I think they're my tip for the Super Bowl.
Are they?
So, even though the Jags have just made the playoffs, I'd love to say Jags are going to win it, but they ain't going to win it. They ain't going to win squat. But Eagles, yeah, I reckon.
I'm hoping Bills now.
You're hoping the Bills now? Oh yeah, because you hate the Chiefs anyway, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I hit the Chiefs, and
Hate's a strong
Jags
word.
too. I'd like the Jags to do it.
Yeah, Jags will hopefully get to the AFC game. But you never know. Anyway, I digress.
FIFA.
Back to FIFA. Hoo-hoo, mama. Hee-hee. So what makes it good, Keith?
Oh, what makes it good? Like you, I hadn't played a good football game.
No one knew how to
that.
do football on a video game.
On the Master System, I had World Soccer. Was it? I think it was called.
I've seen World Soccer.
Yeah, it was pretty poor.
Yeah,
right.
And then I knew it was end up going to be mentioned. Italia 90.
Yes.
World Cup Italia 90 on the Mega Drive. Probably on the old Mega Games cartridge. Poor. And then what was Super Kickoff?
Yeah.
Never a big fan.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because us lot missed that kind of Amiga first wave of football games where they probably did football all right. So by the time I'd seen football, I'd only ever play consoles.
Yeah.
And by the time I'd seen FIFA, I was like, hoo, baba. It was so good. But the thing is, it was quite hard to get, because the first game I played, it was around my primary school mate's house. And I think I played Wales v Denmark. It had to be Wales.
Of course.
Come on. And I couldn't get a shot away. So the thing ended up 0-0. It was just like scrambling around, basically just mashing B, and like hoofing it from the halfway line. And the Denmark keeper just pick it up no problems. And that was my first. That was your first.
All right. So all the ones you just named,
yeah.
Steve, what were the things they did wrong? Like like, was there a common theme, or was it just what was wrong with it?
I think Dill will probably agree that none of them actually felt like a game of football, did they?
No,
a bit of a fundamental error there.
Yeah, they all had their own weird quirks, like Super Kickoff. It's
like saying Pong is tennis, you know?
Yeah, it kind of resembled the sport, but it didn't really feel like it.
All right.
I love World Soccer on the Master System. I've said that before, and I do love it.
I have fond memories of it.
No, I mean, looking back, it's a very average game at best. But, I love that game. I loved it. But then that was what I thought was possible on a console. And then I played FIFA.
Yeah. Super Kickoff had that weird thing where the player's touch was awful.
Oh, God,
the ball bounced ahead of you as you were trying to dribble.
Yeah.
Italia 90, it was just very limited, wasn't it?
Yeah.
it was ugly as well. But, you had that.
Don't speak too much about Italia 90 right now. We're going to come on to that later because it might have been mentioned in some people's top fives. Anyway.
Dylan's number one.
We'll stop talking about it. But no, FIFA, the original FIFA's not on my list, but I remember getting that. I remember seeing it in the magazines, being super excited for it. I got it for Christmas 1993. And it was, when it came out. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I don't know. And also, again, it's that EA Sports thing. It had the presentation as well.
So much good presentation.
Which they'd already done with the Madden games and the EA hockey games. Ron Barr. Yeah. And the whole EASN, wasn't it? So it was like a rip-off of ESPN. EA Sports Network. And it just, the isometric pitch as well. The view. Some of the music as well. Yeah, so the presentation was a step up as well.
It was just another level.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It wasn't perfect. I mean, I've played them recently, and obviously you could really only score from outside the box reliably.
Yeah. Unless you're playing against the bad teams.
You get the ball in front of the goalkeeper on 6 yard, 6 yards out and smash it, and the keeper would always save it. It was bizarre. Yeah. So it wasn't perfect, but it was such a big leap from what we'd been used to before that.
Yeah. James, you have any fond memories of FIFA on the Mega Drive?
So my number 4 is FIFA 95.
Well, while we're on it, then my number 3 was FIFA 95.
That was a good game.
Yeah, well,
that was a really
mainly because I only really played that with my good mate Alan, and he was getting into football at the time. And we kind of stuck it on, and we didn't really know what we were doing, and it was a bit like, we knew the basic rules and stuff like that. But I was like, it was just really good fun. Because it looked good, and it, like you say, there was a bit of atmosphere about it. It wasn't just a football game.
And when you scored, you could press the different buttons. You could press one for the fireworks, the one for the fireworks, the one for the do it.
What?
The goal.
What?
You did it. Yeah, the button. And you could keep pressing it, so it'd be like, go.
That was it.
That was it. And the fireworks and stuff.
The fireworks,
and,
yes. But it was just like, for someone going in, like, not like you guys who've been following football a long time, but someone who was going in a bit fresh, I was like, it was just really good fun. And it kind of got me hooked a little bit on like following football games after that. And we used to play like then other football games like on the PS1 and going on from there. And that was, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have then played any other football games. I mean, I played Italia 90 because it was on the Mega Games cartridge. And I absolutely loved, Hang On and Columns and that sort of stuff. But yeah, it was, I think if it wasn't for that game, I may not have probably got into playing other football games. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. And we spent ages playing that. And it was, but yeah, it was also, I think that one was also quite difficult to score as well, wasn't it? That was tricky.
A bit more difficult.
A bit more,
The angles weren't as favourable.
Yeah.
But
shall I talk more about it as it's on my list?
Go on. Yeah,
we might as well.
Well, it wasn't a lot different, but again, like all good sequels, it just took what was great about the original FIFA and just tweaked it a little bit. Added the club teams. What I remember about it was always playing, because that was when Serie A was, that was the league. And so, like, in prep for this, I played FIFA 95 a couple of days ago, and nearly all the Italian teams have got really high stats.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't have the proper player names and stuff, but it had all the team names, had all the European leagues. The graphics were just the kits were a little bit more detailed. It was just, again, little tweaks and things. And so for me, that's why I put that on. It was close, but between that and the original, that's why FIFA 95 made my list.
Nice.
And yeah, it was just, for me, again, not really playing much of Sensi back then. That was the 16-bit football game.
So good. It was just so good.
So I suppose my introduction into the world of football games at the 95 was quite good then.
It was a pretty good starting point. Yeah, okay. You missed a lot of the dross that came before.
That's why I enjoyed it then. Okay. I didn't have anything to compare it to, though, I suppose. So. How did I? No, it was good. I don't know. I just took it on
good
face
games.
value.
Good games are good games.
It's just how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
It's how you make it feel inside, James.
The way you make me feel.
The way exactly. Michael Jackson, love that guy. Anyway,
and do you know what I always remember about when you boot up the original FIFA after you got the EA? Was it before or after the EA Sports logo? You got, because it was originally made by this little team in Canada. Was it EA Canada?
Table.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Extended Play Productions, they were called. Yeah, the little foosball table.
They did a great job.
That. Yeah,
mate.
And look at what it became. The juggernaut.
This is it.
Became.
They say that football is our game. Well, no, it's also the Canadians' game.
It is. But that's it. They'd already done Madden and the hockey games, and it was.
Oh, we may speak about those.
We may not. But if I remember rightly, EA weren't sure whether a football or a soccer game would be as successful. So they let this small team develop it, and what a job they did.
What do they say? The rest is history.
Yeah, that's it.
Exactly. Right.
FIFA.
So good. I'm glad. So we're still on a round of 5 because no one's actually mentioned their 5 yet. So Keith,
okay,
what is your 5th game?
My 5th game, Speedball 2.
Speedball 2. You've stolen my number 4.
Controversial.
This is controversial.
Is it?
Because is it actually a sport?
It's a future sports game.
It's a future sports game.
You didn't say no future sports.
Yeah.
I've just put it in my list.
Yeah.
Brutal Deluxe.
Brutal Deluxe.
Let's give it the full name. Let's give it the full name. Didn't make James's top 5.
It didn't.
Didn't make Adrian's top 5.
It didn't.
That's a
know.
surprise.
And I don't think. Do you know what? I kind of base my list around kind of when I played them originally. Mm-hmm. And I didn't put one in that I've played kind of years later and gone, it's an amazing game. Because it is an amazing game. But I thought I'd stay kind of like true to like the roots, you know?
Okay,
and actually put a top 5 as when I lived them, you know, originally.
Very
so
nice.
I thought that was kind of fair because if I start mixing
you've
and
thrown
matching,
in your own rule and I like it.
yeah, but if I start mixing and matching and then, you know, I don't feel that. I feel like I'm cheating myself a little bit. So, but don't get me wrong. I've played that a bunch. Certainly in the last like couple of years with the minis and stuff like that. It's so much fun. And it's just like, it's so well put together. And it looks great as well. It's just such an exciting game. But originally it kind of just maybe passed me by a little bit. I don't know.
Right.
Weird.
The thing, because I originally played it on the Amiga. But thankfully, all of the console ports are, bar the Master System one, are pretty much it. You know,
the Mega Drive one's spot on.
So I think I justifiably put that number 4,
that's
even
good
though
shout.
I did mash the hell out of the Amiga version back in the day. Just all the tournament modes and just everything, and it's just so satisfying. You can do so many things on the field and like charge the ball up and like get other points here, and it's just
It's so easy to play as well. It's
so
like
easy.
the
One
control.
button.
Yeah, well, basically one button controls.
One button controls.
When you've got the ball, you throw it, and when you haven't, you.
There's more about one button controls
Sort
later.
of a slide tackle, but yeah, it's sort of violent and.
Except we don't get sent off for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the field's almost like it's got like pinball table elements with like the things along the side that you can hit extra points, and it was just something really like satisfying about the way it played as well.
The first one. The first one is
I never played the first one.
Yeah, so they really like nailed it. They really nailed it, and you can upgrade your players and stuff as well during the season. You upgrade the whole team. I didn't know what I was doing for the most part.
It
but
was
still
weird
managed
that you could only play as Brutal Deluxe, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, what a team name though.
Brutal Deluxe.
Brutal Deluxe.
It does exactly what it says on the tin.
It'd have been quite nice to be on the other ones. I think they might have done that in later Speedball games.
Yeah,
but let's not talk about.
I think my only gripe with it was the fact that everything is grey.
Yeah. It is.
You get a little different coloured icon for like your team and the opponent's team, but
it's futuristic, man.
I know, but like some little changes in the uniforms.
Is the future grey?
If you look at like Running Man and Total Recall and stuff, it's quite actually that's a bad example.
Arnold wears a bright yellow jumpsuit in Running Man.
They're both quite colourful. That's a bad example.
It's a bad example. And even
RoboCop's very metal.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, RoboCop is quite grey.
Have you guys seen the film Rollerball, which is what this was heavily
long
influenced
time
by?
ago? But yeah,
they had different coloured uniforms.
They did.
Okay, well
Come
they really
on.
grade it up.
Come on.
And actually, if this was,
But
I
it's
want to say it's an Amiga first game as well. The Amiga was
think
not
so.
short on colours. So
Well.
anyway,
Great game though.
We'll let it. You know,
This was I can't remember.
We'll gloss
I got
over
it
that
the
one.
Bitmap Brothers
got
did
it
this
bought
one,
for
and
me
it
for the
was-
Mega Drive
it was great.
back in the day. I don't remember asking for it specifically, but I did love it.
Wow, who actually came up with that idea to get you that?
Must have been Paul Barlow.
Oh man, Peter Barlow strikes
Points
again.
for Paul Barlow.
Actually, and he got me the Chaos Engine as well. So he obviously saw these Bitmap Brothers games and I thought,
Or the person in the shop was really good. I want to say it's probably down to your dad, really.
oh, probably.
Chaos
We'll give him the
Engine.
credit.
Give him
The
some-
man's got taste.
Mate.
Damn.
Oh, that must have been a good day.
Yeah.
That must have been a good freaking day. That
Chaos Engine is Speedball too.
Chaos Engine is
Hello.
Hello.
There's the weekend story.
Yeah, man. No, Speedball 2, love it. So it was your number 4.
It was my number 4, so I don't
Nice.
have to say my number
Nice.
4 for the round of 4s. Yeah, great game. James, what was your number 5?
This is my kind of controversial. Is it not? I kind of
All right.
my little kind of frisbee. Road Rash.
Oh, I thought we were leaving racing games out.
We were.
Ooh.
Let's let him have it,
let him
because I
talk
love to
about
talk
it.
about Road Rash.
No, we've done Road Rash podcasts before, but you weren't with us. So
Exactly.
have at it.
Tell us.
So I love
Yeah.
the way you're trying to find reasons that I can have it.
Yeah.
And instead of telling me, no,
Yeah.
you've only got a top 4. But
Hey man, we're not the government.
I don't know. Yeah, it's true. Thank God. But I mean, just like addictive ridiculous, colourful, crazy, violent weapons and bikes, and who doesn't like that? I mean,
So
okay,
fantastic.
Okay, what is it? It's kind of just about, I think, dips its toe in kind of sport-ish. Maybe
It's a sport. Motorcycle racing is a sport.
but not
it's
with
kind of in that
chains.
It's kind of in that weird hinterland where it's not like pure racing game.
No, that's true.
It's like a racing game, but you have to beat the living hell out of everyone to get ahead.
Yeah,
It's a bit like life,
Well, there you go,
isn't it? It's a bit of a metaphor. You say Road Rash or Road Rash 2?
Road Rash, the original one.
Wow.
The original one, mainly because that was the first one I played, and I enjoyed it. Kind of that was my kind of exposure.
At least you didn't say Road Rash 3, so that's fine.
No.
No, Road Rash, it was great. I mean, even the racing alone, like sometimes I can play races on that without even slapping anyone. Can you guys do that?
I usually try to avoid it because then I'm more likely to lose concentration and get hit by a car or drive into a cow or something.
Drive into a cow.
Yeah. I try to avoid confrontation wherever
I don't
possible.
know. I just thought. And much like life.
Yeah.
Again,
Exactly.
it's a spiritual, it's a
Keith in
philosophical podcast.
You know they say that video games are violent. No, Keith just plays them like Keith. He's very, very,
Like
very timid.
Smash TV.
stop
He
all
just
that.
runs away from everybody.
I stop at all the junctions and everything. Road rash.
Stop
That's
signs.
why I always come last.
Go by.
Brilliant. I'd just love to have been in the room when they were smoking what they were smoking when they came up with that. I'll tell you.
I mean, as I wrote an article for the website a few months back about the best racing games on the Mega Drive. Spoilers, but Road Rash 2 was my number one.
Not
racing
spoilers,
game
it's been out there a little while.
on the Mega Drive.
Yeah.
So I love the Road Rash.
Absolute universal love for number 2. The reason I put number 1 again is because I'm kind of sticking to the what I remember as my first kind of exposure to that, and I loved it.
Oh,
and
it's
I loved it. I just
fantastic.
thought it was mental. I was like, there was nothing else around at that time like that, and I was like, it's a bit unhinged, but I like it.
I think as well, and we'll probably mention this talking about some of the other games on our lists, but the great thing about that is you didn't have to be into bikes. You didn't have to be a racing game fan.
Yep.
Because it was that weird combination, you could just pick it up and have fun with it.
And it's good, like the way that they explained the bikes and stuff was quite good, and you kind of knew which ones were better than the other ones, and like even as a kid, you kind of knew what you were doing. In that respect, it wasn't like
Overcomplicated.
Ducati over a Mukati or whatever.
Yeah, you
No,
didn't have
they'd
to
all
have
made
all
up
that.
names, didn't they? Yeah.
I mean, off the back of that, I actually went looking. Mukei. I actually went looking for other games like that. And I was like,
Okay.
I don't think I'm ever going to find anything. And then I discovered, I know it's not on my list or anything like that, but do you remember Skitchin?
Yeah, Skitchin's all right.
Skitchin's
Skitchin's all right. It is all right, but it is they basically took the same engine.
They did. They did.
yeah.
But except you can just get like run over in more horrific ways. But
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. Hang on, this is great. Let's go look for another violent racing game. And I found one. So there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anyway,
Very good.
so probably maybe not allowed, but
I'd allow it because this is the definitive. These are the definitive games
Okay.
people should be playing sports wise. Anyway,
True.
so
wicked.
Adrian's 5.
Yeah.
I read it out now. Is Andre Agassi tennis, and I asked him to comment on it, and he said, "Not as good as the man himself." That's the sentence.
Classic Adrian. Classic Adrian.
Andre Agassi tennis.
I'm sure Steffi Graf would agree. I don't know.
So
What
Andre
else to
Agassi
say?
tennis. I mean, I had the Master System version, so I can't comment too much on Andre Agassi tennis. It's like, yeah,
I don't know if I played it.
No.
it's
don't
very
remember playing
dodgy. It got supremely bad reviews.
I remember that.
it. Ouch.
And the only way you could hit it is as if it came off your feet.
Sorry?
So when you
That's
press,
how I play tennis.
What, like a
in
half
real life.
when
volley
you
kind of
press,
thing?
when you press the hit button, it basically looked like it was coming off your feet, and then that would go over the net, and then you'd get a point.
So like if you went to hit it like at waist height or whatever, it just went past you.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was pretty bad, but yeah.
And what was that? What did Adrian play that on?
Yeah, because it was on everything. It was on
I just-
SNES, Mega Drive, Master
Yeah,
System,
it was just a
Game
one-line
Gear.
comment. That was not as good as the man himself. Because if you talk about Andre Agassi, he was a great tennis player.
He was.
Indeed.
And he won a few trophies and that. So, yeah.
The box art's nice. Because
Yeah,
when
the
I
box-
think of Andre Agassi now, I think of his shiny bald head.
Yeah.
But back then,
Glorious.
Captain
Glorious
I mean,
mullet.
Glorious
he had
locks.
so much mullet and so much
at that.
hair.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
That was
you
the
know,
hair of the day. Wasn't
It was.
That was
Oh,
that really
absolutely.
was.
I mean, with Adrian's list, should we be surprised because he does like Double Dragon 3? You know,
I mean, you can't
he
rely
does.
on anything he says.
Yeah.
You know, come and
Stick the
that's
boot in, come
prime
on.
example right there. I'm
Yeah.
kidding, Age. I'm kidding. I'm
Yeah.
only bashing you because you're not here.
Cool.
Sorry, I guess
It get me
it's
back.
tennis.
It get me back another time.
Thanks, Adrian, for Andre Agassi tennis. Right, so we're moving on to round 4.
Yeah, boy.
Mine's been taken. Speedball 2.
Oh, yeah.
So what is Keith? Well, Keith, what is your number 4?
NHL 94.
Oh, Keith's taking my number 3. Right, so what basically, my number 3 is EA Hockey or any early NHL
Okay,
game.
fair.
Because let's
You
be
love
honest, they're all the same. They're all the same.
Again,
As
it's
that-
like FIFA, isn't it? It just,
Yeah.
they added the like club teams and tweaked the graphics slightly, but
So quick explaining for our American listeners who might not be aware. NHL Hockey, as you know it, on the Mega Drive, was reskinned for, I think, licensing things.
Must
and
have
then
been.
sold over in Europe and possibly Australia or PAL regions as EA Hockey. So we got... So basically, it's really comical if you look at it because they're very similar, the countries and the clubs, and the franchises. And
Yeah.
I played it the other day, and I was like, "Hang on, am I like New Jersey or Portugal? Like, what is going on?" Like, it was just
We know they're so similar.
they just haven't they've tweaked it. every
Portugal
now
is
and
a
then.
hotbed of ice
But
hockey. I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
feel like they equated. They didn't really look at how good these countries were at ice hockey, and basically, goes, oh well, they look a bit.
the colours
like,
look similar.
They look a bit like Portugal, so we'll just tweak that a little bit, and then we'll just do that there. But you know what? The end result is greatness. And we did promise. I've forgotten which one. I want to say it was a guy called Danny years ago, potentially, that we'd do a podcast on
on the hockey games.
I apologise we didn't do that, but at least this way, in some part, rectifies that. So NHL 94, that was the one two after
Yeah.
EA Hockey, I think. So
Because I don't remember really playing NHL 93 for some reason.
Yeah.
But not, again, it's that old EA thing where they just tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah.
Presentation, graphics, the proper team names and stuff. And yeah, I've never
Stuff
been,
with the assists
I've
and stuff
never,
was nice.
yeah, I've never been that big on hockey, but it just played so well. Like, I mean, you can probably sort of eulogize more about EA Hockey and stuff, but it just felt right. I played a few of the other ice hockey games. I remember one that I rented years and years ago, Mario Lemieux Hockey, which I liked because I quite liked
The fighting was
the
good,
fighting,
right?
yeah, because it would sort of you once you got into a fight, whereas in the EA games, the little sprites would punch each other.
Yeah.
It would sort of cut away to a side-on, like one-on-one fighting game style, like from the waist up, and you had to like trade trade punches.
No, I remember seeing.
I feel they spent
Yeah.
more. I feel they spent more time on
the
that
fighting
than the
yeah.
actual hockey.
Yeah, but apart from that, I
There
think
was
that
Brett
was like
Hull, I think, as well.
Brett Hull hockey,
There
yeah.
were kind of, there were challenges to the crown, but EA Hockey. When I first played that game, I was smitten.
When was the double header? The Mega Drive.
so. That was the first
That was
Madden
it.
and the first EA
So
Hockey.
it was. They released that, I think, after Madden '92. So it's just
Did
like a
budget
bargain
thing.
giveaway thing.
I bought me one of those last summer.
Yeah.
I managed to find one. Yeah.
It's one
And
of the
great
few-
condition.
I
as well.
got one a few years
Yeah,
ago for like
Gonna hang on to
99p.
that. Yeah, I think I got it for about
Yeah,
a
it's
pound as
brilliant.
well. But
yeah.
Funny story, it's one of the few Mega Drive games I haven't put into storage. But it's in there because I want to pop it into the Mega SG and play it like I played it from the cart.
The thing that always amazed me about EA Hockey, especially back then, was how on earth do you program moving on ice?
I know,
Like,
right?
do you know what I mean? So like the momentum of
Yeah.
the player. So when he moves, if you stop controlling him, he's still going to slide on the ice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how the hell? That's always kind of amazed me. How do you program that in
Yeah.
on a 16-bit console?
Where's Adrian?
It's
Get
like-
him an interview with one of the guys.
Yeah, I just always found
With the
that so
developer.
like kind of that's like magic.
There we go.
How do I do that?
Future podcast interview. We need an interview with,
someone
with
to
a sports
explain
game
to me
dev
how
about
you-
how
yeah.
to move on ice.
How to move on ice? Yeah, ice physics. But yeah,
That's a good shout though, because it's like it's totally different
you-
to anything else,
yeah.
isn't it? Because if it's a running player, like on grass or wherever, you stop, or you have a little bit
Yeah.
of overlap. But on ice, you kind of stop skating, you still keep
yeah, you still
going,
go.
don't you?
It was a thing that kind of always amazed me back then because obviously, video games you usually press the button and then all right, maybe Mario who's a bit slidey, but Desert Strike because the helicopter had momentum as well.
Yes, good shout.
And I was when those kind of things started to come into games, that kind of blew my mind a bit. And the EA Hockey did that as well. But yeah,
It was
again,
so good.
it's so easy to play. You don't have to know
So
anything
to
about
play.
hockey.
Yeah. The co-op stuff is really good. It's a really
Yeah.
good co-op game. It was the first apart from because I played it before I played FIFA, and to actually have your mate on the same team as you against the computer, well, it's just like I've never even heard of that before. It's just as in a sports game, it just like in
multiplayer utopia,
but it was you know it really was that, and I think EA really were at the on console wise, EA were at the forefront of that.
Oh yeah,
so very good number 4.
Thank you.
James, what makes your number 4?
We've already said it, which is FIFA 95.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's
your 4 is done.
It was my number 4. The NHL 94 is my number 3.
No way.
So there you go. But for all the reasons we've kind of
okay. So we haven't got many left. All right, it's a good job that Adrian has given his answer. They're a little bit left field.
I'm sure they are.
All right. Okay. So Adrian's number 4 is Olympic Gold on the Mega Drive.
Olympic Gold
on the Mega Drive.
Okay.
He says this is the one line he's given for this one. You are gold. Always believe in your soul. You have the power to know you're indestructible. Always believing. Interesting.
Sounds very similar to a popular 80s song.
It does. I think that comment is pretty much not on the ball about that game. I mean, that's a bad game. Olympic Gold.
Yeah, I'm just refreshing my
Olympic Gold
memory.
Wow, I really cast my mind back. I think I did.
And what platform did he say?
A Mega Drive.
It was the official game of the Barcelona Olympics in '92.
Yeah.
Barcelona.
It was mediocre, I would say at best. Definitely a mediocre kind of game. I only played it a few years back just to do a written review for the site. It's archery and stuff is okay.
Yeah, so it had 100 meters, hammer throw, archery, hurdles, pole vault, freestyle swimming, and diving.
Yeah, I've played this. I've just seen a couple of the screen grabs of it, and I have played it.
It was on the Master System as well.
Oh, I think it was multi.
Yeah,
I think I played it on the Mega Drive, and I think it was a bit clunky.
It was clunky. I think
some of it looked quite good though, didn't it? I think some of it was, but I don't think it controlled.
It looked
that well,
really good. Actually, if you look at it now, actually, if it's moving, it's really good. But to actually play, you'd rather just play track and field.
Yeah.
If you're going to go way back and like play some 8-bit stuff or I don't know 4-bit or whatever track and field was, but you might as well just go and play that, mate. Because Olympic
that's such a
Gold.
letdown, though, isn't it? Because like if it looks good, but the controls are not tight.
I think I did play it, but I was sort of meh.
I mean,
that's a shame.
I suppose it's all about your memories and stuff. But unfortunately, Adrian isn't here to explain this. But here we are, Olympic Gold.
I can get the selection. But
it puts me in mind of one of my games that didn't make the top 5.
Yes,
and probably didn't make anyone's top 5. James Pond at the Aquatic Games.
James Pond at the Aquatic Games.
That was fun.
That was a good game.
So again, it was kind of like that.
But it's a sport game.
It is a sports game. It's the Aquatic Games.
We'll give an honourable mention.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Let's while we're on the Olympic Games, I really like Lilyhammer 94.
Yeah,
Winter Olympics.
you do,
Man. I had that just missed my top 5. Bobsled, so good. But it was all like, I played the Master System version, and the Mega Drive version is very good, but the Master System version is not too far away from the Mega Drive version. So I don't know even how they did that. Even the skiing and everything is super responsive.
Was that US Gold as well?
That was US Gold. Madness. Really madness. That's a nice one to own for your Master System owners. That's a nice one to pick up. So have a look
good
for
tip.
that. All right, very good. We're on 3s. Okay, my 3 was EA Hockey / NHL Hockey games, so that I'm out. Keith, what was your number 3?
FIFA 95.
FIFA 95. Your 3 is out. Your 3 is out.
NHL 94.
Adrian.
Adrian's number 3 is, you mentioned it earlier, World Cup Italia 90.
Oh, Adrian. Number what?
Number 3.
Sorry, what now?
His third favourite
World Cup
16-bit
Italia
sports
90.
game.
He said, love Roberto Baggio. He's not on the game, but just love him.
So trust him to come up with nothing to do with the
I'm so disappointed that he's not here for this.
Right, so, World Cup Italia 90 is hard.
Rubbish.
Do you know what?
Hold on a minute. Go on, Dale. Go on.
I bought it the other day for £2 or something.
What's going on?
Man, because I just wanted to own it. It's just one of these things that you just kind of want to own, right? You just kind of want to own this thing.
Keeps grimacing.
And it's very limited, I think, as you said earlier. But I just love the goal! And when That's when you load it up. And I love the team select screen where you like move the little cursor around the world and everything. That was
beige
really
world map
beige,
screen
so
thing.
good. That was so good. And even the music in the in-game music, it was like really jolly.
I'll give
and
it that.
Nice. And
I'll
quite
give
nice.
it a point for that.
But wow, the sound effects were bad. Wow, the gameplay was bad. But you know what? At one point, I kind of got quite far in the game. The games are so long. You can't fiddle.
There's not many options, is there?
No,
there's not.
yeah, they are quite long.
So every game lasts about 15 minutes or something. And one time, this is when I was younger, I think I got quite, because I worked out how to win. You just hoof it, right? And just like, you hoof it with the B button up to your strikers. And then
Headers.
And headers.
Yeah.
It was just headers. Headers either side of the goalie. They ain't getting that. So that's how you win that game. Anyway, welcome up Italian night.
It's so bittersweet though, isn't it? Because it's like an early football game, then you have great memories of it, and you think, but
Yeah.
but it was,
I played it a lot, I guess, because there weren't any other good football games at the
you
time.
couldn't see who you were passing to. Like if you did a long ball, if you did like a,
Was there a radar?
There was a radar.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a very good radar.
you couldn't really see like if there was a player on the end of your long pass. Or whatever, could you?
No, obviously it was overhead, but because of the height of the camera, I guess, it felt like the pitch was endless.
Yeah,
Like, it was
yeah,
huge.
Yeah,
But the good thing was, if it did hoof it up, it did go to someone. It did. Otherwise, it wouldn't have done it. It only locks on.
Yeah, it never
Like, you
really
kind of have
bounces
to lock
into
on.
Anxiety
space.
when
Yeah.
you kicked it that you didn't think
And
it was
like,
going to.
and like when they control it, it's like with a tuck.
Didn't it? What was the sound was awful though, wasn't it? When you,
Oh, the sound effects.
Like when you do
like
like
when
a
you
slide
dribbled the
tackle.
ball, wasn't it like?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
What is that?
yeah.
I don't know. Like one of those. It's like one of those
It's my car on a
BBC.
cold morning.
Where did you get
like
that?
one of those CBBC puppets? I don't know. I don't know.
Macapaka.
Macapaka. Oh, there you go.
Such bittersweet memories.
It's just
Adrian's number 3,
This
right?
basically
Number
just
3.
said to say Adrian didn't play that many 16-bit sports games.
I don't
Is
think
that
so.
what
He's
this
probably
is?
like playing Amiga stuff.
Yeah.
He's not here to defend himself, so that's what we're going with.
Fair enough. Right, we're on the number 2s now. I'm going to say it.
Go on, say it.
He's still saying it.
I'm not going to say the name of the game because everyone back home would have like, realized what it
They
is. How
must
good
have.
is it?
Anyone who knows anything about
How good is
Classic sports
NBA Jam?
No, you said it.
I said it.
Well, I thought we'd go through the whole pod without actually saying
No.
it.
you can't expect him to
How
do that.
good is it?
Yeah.
How good is it?
On a scale of 1 to million, is it your number 1?
A million.
And
Yeah,
10.
it's my number 1. Yeah. Of course it is. Of course it is. Just
Mine too.
Dude.
It's just.
It is.
It's amazing.
You guys know because it basically. I remember the first time we played it. We were around Big Rob's
Rob,
house.
yeah.
And I think you guys had played it already before me. I was like, "What is this?" And Dan was like schooling everyone in it. I was like, "What is this? Oh, I have to get this." And I eventually got Dan's Mega Drive and NBA. Well, I got NBA Jam
Nice.
of Gutsy. But yeah, it was just so amazing.
I mean, I think we probably, I don't know if it's the same for you, James, we all played it on console first. But I never came, even though obviously the story is, it was like one of the biggest arcade machines of all time.
console first for me, yeah.
Successful.
I never remember seeing it in the many Croydon arcades back in the day.
Maybe
never saw
because,
it.
It's the UK, it was a basketball game, I guess. Like,
Oh,
if you-
yeah, those
all the
Brits don't
billions
like-
of dollars it took were probably all in America, let's be honest.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest grossing arcade
It was,
games of
yeah.
all times, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Which is, that's what I'm saying, it's remarkable that we all played it console first.
only because you can play a quarter at a time over there. You have to pay for the privilege, don't you? You have to pay.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
pay. Oh, that's
Yep.
cheeky.
Yep.
Not giving you a full game. But anyway, it was an arcade game. But
It
it was so
was.
beautiful. Like everything, like just the level of detail. They had like proper players in it,
Yep.
and you could
Yeah, yeah, the little
save your
digitised
game, and
faces.
You could save your game and beat all the other teams. We won't mention the lack of playoffs. We won't mention it.
No, we don't worry
We
about
won't
that.
mention the lack of, and we won't mention the fact that tournament edition
Has
even
no
didn't have a
tournament.
tournament in it. No, we won't. We don't
we'll
mention
gonna
these.
gloss
that.
over stuff like
We
that.
don't mention these things because we forgive these.
Just
We do.
details.
Yeah.
They're just details.
Yeah.
And they're so good. And it's one of the few games I can actually beat Arcade Attack Rob at.
Really?
Remember
I thought he was really
when
good
we
at
did that
it.
little thing? Nah, but I beat him
But
the
you
other
still
day.
beat him?
When we did, well, I think one where Chibsy won the retro gaming thingy bob thingy. We had an NBA Jam thing.
Oh, yeah,
And I definitely beat
yeah.
Rob. And it was really, I was only leading by about 2 points to like with the last seconds. I just ran around with it rather than shooting at it. Oh, he got so
Come get me.
I could see he was getting so mad. But, good
He was,
day.
he was looking at the
It was a
controller
good day.
port,
I mean,
thinking about
it
pulling
is-
it.
It is
Reset button.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, that's the damn tactics.
You
Don't
can't
mention the other
too
one.
long though because of the shot clock.
I had enough time. I did the calculation.
Nice,
I did the
nice.
calculation.
You did the math.
I did the math.
Proper tactics.
You do the maths.
You do the maths.
Maths. We all need maths in England, apparently, according to
Till
our
we're
Prime
18.
Minister. We all
Oh,
need...
don't start on that.
No, we won't.
Oh my
God.
We
God.
won't. No, NBA Jam.
MA Jam.
I was about to tell
Far
you
more
how
exciting.
terrible I was at A-level maths. But
I mean, you
okay.
can tell that story if you want.
Oh, so bad at it. If you made kids do that now, you'd crush a whole nation. So bad idea. Scrap that, thanks. But yeah,
of
so
many.
NBA Jam, brilliant. Multiplayer, brilliant.
It's so addictive.
It is. It is.
And it's so much for like a game. How long does a game last, do you think? I've never really thought. I think the quarters are 3 minutes, maybe.
Is it
Yeah, about 12,
12,
15 minutes.
12
Yeah.
minutes or so? Something
so
like
you
that.
can sort of bash through a game really quickly. But it's so simple, but I don't know what it is. There's something about it in terms of like,
I think every level it's accessible. So like
everything about it
there's
is
the
appealing
teams,
as
like,
well.
You've got the teams and stuff on there, and then all the stats and stuff. But again, it doesn't go so far that you have to know loads about basketball.
No, not
so,
at all.
So
not
it's
at all.
it's fun. Like the team selection's fun. But you can, and then you don't have to know loads about that to be able to pick a team. But then when you go into it, it's 2-on-2, which makes it even more accessible.
And the other great thing is most of the rules of basketball have been done away with.
Yes,
So you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
You don't
apart from
need to
blooming
know.
goaltending.
Or, yeah. But all you need to know is you need to get the ball in the net.
Get the ball in the net.
That's basically it.
I think that's what it is. It's because it's so accessible for so many people. You had like diehard basketball fans that would still play it because they could pick their favorite players, teams, whatever, and it was all quite familiar. But it was fun. Like it was a kind of a cartoony, fun version of their game.
I recently read a book on the making of NBA Jam, which I'm happy to lend to anyone who wants to read it. And I'm not going to go on about it, but the way they described, like Mark Turmel, who developed it, they called it heightened reality.
Oh, yeah.
So it was kind of, the players looked a bit realistic, but they're big heads and
but a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, and it, lots of like, the passing and the shooting was kind of normal, and except for the super crazy dunks and catching fire and stuff like that.
Go on, what did I say? He's heating up.
He's heating up. Puts up a brick.
Is it the shoes?
He's on fire.
I just love it. I just love this game.
It's appealing on every level as well. Like, it's everything's bright and colourful as well. Like all the kits are like really
I don't think
bright.
there's anything
and,
wrong with it. Like,
not as far as I'm concerned, but
apart from the lack of a playoff mode.
yeah,
Which we're not going to mention. We're not going to mention it.
No.
We're not going to mention that.
no.
No, not at all. We're not going to mention
Did I? And this is just my memory and not really doing proper research. Did any of the console versions have 4-player?
Yeah, that Mega Drive.
That you could use the.
You can use 4-tap.
Excellent. I never played it that way, so I didn't know if you
did
could.
the SNES have a 4-tappy?
I think it did.
Must have done. I think they want to enable it on there as well. Really weird.
Because that would have been amazing.
The first time I played the SNES version, I don't remember liking it. But I went through a bit of a trip last year where I just had to buy random SNES cards, and I bought NBA Jam because I gave my Mega Drive NBA Jam to Rob. So I thought, I just got a console thing, just whack it in the Super NT, see how it goes. Man, I really liked it. It's like, it feels smoother. The graphics are a bit nicer.
I've heard that it's better. I just never really played
a bit
it.
better, but gotta be the Mega Drive version.
Yeah.
Gotta be the Mega Drive version. Sorry, Nintendo.
Our bias is showing again, but
Nintendo don't win it on that occasion.
Oh,
they don't.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
It's so much fun though, isn't it? Like, and I'll tell you the other thing as well. It like sessions playing on that with your mates got really heated as well because you had sweaty palms. You were like, especially when it was like the score was level, and the clock was counting down. You were like, come on!
It was unusual to ever win the game of NBA Jam by a big score. Like they was always tight.
Oh, it was always tight. But the other thing, like there was a bit of an equalizer in it. Like Rob likes playing it in tag mode, which means that you pick up whatever player that has the ball.
Okay.
Right? But I don't like that.
No, I've never.
I
really
like
played
playing
with
with the computer, but then that was the equalizer. If you're playing against someone who wasn't that good, the computer playing would kind of help them out, get into good situations, and you could kind of get them to pass it to you if you wanted, or just let them have it, or let them dunk it, or if you weren't. So it was quite good. So there was you never had people running away with it.
And the arcade game especially is like, I played a lot of that lately. Obviously, the arcade version is proper rubber banding. You can build up like a 20-point lead by the end of the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, everything you do misses, and everything the computer does goes in.
No 3-pointers for you.
Total arcade machine. Total arcade machine.
And so you've got a real battle on your hands to win. But
I'm still winning by 15. Ooh, still winning by 12. Ooh, still winning by 9. Ooh, I won by 1.
By 2.
Yeah.
1.
Yeah.
But does everybody know that you've got the actual arcade cabinet?
Well, I mean-
I was like, we're talking about it, but I don't think we actually told everyone. did we?
No, I've never really announced it as such.
No.
But
Pete's a very lucky boy.
Oh,
I'm
man.
very lucky.
It-
Big shout out
It's
to
impressive.
Punching Dragon Arcades who built it for me. But yes, it's
It's a thing of beauty.
With the old
It certainly
NBA
is.
Jam and marquee, they call those?
the light up marquee. Yeah,
Mate, it's beautiful. Really
Want.
beautiful.
I'm
Can't have
very
but one.
very happy with it. Yeah,
I mean, I probably chose a Street Fighter 2 on myself, just over it, but yeah, very nice.
Oh, it was a hard choice. It was like, do I get Street Fighter 2 or Turtles or
they're all beautiful, and
But I love NBA Jam so much.
and they've done such
So
a good
much.
job with it. It just looks like proper.
It's so
it's
good.
Yeah.
proper professional. So there you go. And now, because we give you a shout out, maybe you can give me a free one, guys.
Free Street Fighter 2
Free
cabinet
advertising,
deal.
Free, and then you can give James a free one if he shares on social media. This this podcast.
Oh,
There you go.
share to the cows come home.
There you
One
go.
of those.
There you go, mate. There you go. Very good. NBA Jam.
NBA Jam.
Perfect. That's my number 2. So
Number 1. So.
I was-
My number 2.
Your
Hang
number
on.
2.
I bet you can guess what it is.
Oh, you're number 2. Go
Yeah.
on, fire away.
I bet you can guess what it is. Do you want to try and guess? Go on. What haven't
John
we mentioned?
Madden 92.
Oh, straight in.
I
Look
was
at this.
I was going to put it on my notable mentions, but because it was very close to my 5, but then I knew you'd put it in your top 5, so I didn't actually put it in the honourable mentions bit. And
But it's not in your top 5.
No, it's not in my top 5, but it was literally 6 or 7 because it's
Okay.
that great.
Fair enough.
It is. I love the first one. This is the thing,
first one's good.
because I played the first one. I think 92 around your house, and then I got the double header. And then that's why I got used to the first one. And when you go back, when you go to 92, you're like, what? It's
Yeah.
like, took this thing, took the engine, slapped all of this mad presentation on it, made it even easier to play. Okay, there you go. There's a great game. There's a great sports game. There's a great 16-bit game. I still prefer that to any recent NFL game.
Yeah, I just...
And actually, I prefer the NHL games to the recent NHL games because they're slow, they're clunky, they ain't working.
I've not even tried a modern hockey game.
NHL 20, I got it for nothing. I think they were doing some mad sale. Whoa, it's boring and dull and
Well, it's-
slow.
I tried-
Even if you play with someone like the good teams and like, it's
Yeah.
Just a rinse and repeat of old.
with
of
that thing,
older ones.
because we're not going to do an ice hockey podcast. Sorry, Danny. Sorry, mythical Danny that I've made up in my head possibly.
Mythical Dan.
Mythical Danny. It is the more realistic you make hockey and even football to an extent, the less fun it becomes. It becomes slow. It becomes more.
Yeah, you get bogged
stop
down in-
making it more like the real thing. Pro Evo was, I think, the golden era of football games. Don't stop it. You know,
Yeah.
that is it. You make everything too realistic. Oh, the players actually run as fast as they find. Unless you're like Gareth Bale in 2014. What fun is that?
Yeah.
You're just trundling. It's like, you know, like trundling around. Like, ugh.
Mate, we won't go off on too much of a tangent, but I watched my son play FIFA 23. And when they play online against each other, they literally only score one kind of goal. And it's all about who's got the fastest player.
Yeah.
So it's like sprint down the middle of the pitch and smash it. And that's it. And I'm like, what I loved about like those Pro Evo games stuff, you could score all kinds of goals.
Mate,
it felt, like I was saying earlier, it felt like football.
Different
the
angles,
keeper might
yeah.
spill the ball and these kind of things that felt random. They weren't random, but it felt random and it felt realistic. But yeah, that's all gone. And I tried to play, because obviously I like a bit of basketball, obviously. I tried to play one of the NBA 2K games because it was on, I think, PlayStation Plus.
So slow and terrible.
And I'm doing a tutorial, and there's about 1 million different controls for this kind of shot, and this kind of shot,
I think
and this kind of
Just
shot.
shoot.
NBA Jam, NBA Jam, shoot.
I think the last time I remember, because I used to have, and I got it. I think I got it with or shortly after I got the 360. Was NBA? Was it 2K6 or
It probably,
something
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
But it was no, not 2K, whatever. It was 2006 basically.
Yeah,
I
okay.
can't remember what iteration it was. That was really quite good. Yeah,
Yeah,
And I
the
tried-
Madden games
yeah.
around that period were still good as well. They weren't too.
because it was like the newer
Convoluted.
gen and like it was good graphics and
Yeah.
and they started to do like the facial kind of construction, all that sort of stuff, and it was like really playable. And then I think I played something briefly on like a free download, and it was like an 18 or 19. It was I could barely like what was going on.
Yeah,
You had to have a degree in like cryptology just to understand the controls. So I know what you mean, but I think also. I think certainly FIFA 23 has actually had a lot of criticism
Oh, really?
Well, from what I can see on videos and streams and stuff like that. And I think there's a lot of kind of patching that kind of needs to be done because there's a lot of, as you say, goals being scored the same way. Yeah. There's not a lot of variation. And then all these glitches and bugs and stuff. But then, you know, that's why I think the older games, certainly the 16-bit ones, you had to get it right first time. You don't get it right, there's no patch.
No, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas developers now, they've got all, you know, they can patch what they like. You know, we can go into that, but we're not good at that's for another pod. But yeah, I think that's part of the reason, certainly my reason for loving those 16-bit ones, because you had to get it right. And if you didn't get it right, you're done. You cooked your goose. That's it. You know, so plaudits to anyone who's made a really good 16-bit sports game.
These are the definitive 16-bit games.
I mean, I give those early Madden games, I credit them with so much. Like, you're sitting here in your Jags hoodie. I'm wearing a Broncos top because I'm a glutton for punishment. James has been to Lambeau Field to watch a game. Indeed. So we talk about NFL fairly regularly. I credit Madden 92 as one of the reasons I'm a football fan.
For us understanding it, because we didn't really understand it really.
No, it's complicated at first. You know,
it's tricky at first, isn't it?
But yeah, I might get my dad bought that because back then, you know, mid to late 80s, early 90s, he used to watch it as well. He was a bit of a fan, so I used to watch it with him, and we used to play Madden. And yeah, it taught me a lot about the game and how it worked and the different positions and plays and special teams and all that kind of stuff. And this is true of every game on my list and probably all your lists, don't know about Adrian's, but these games they're so easy to pick up and play.
Yeah.
Because it kind of, it walks you through it when you're selecting your play.
Yeah.
It's very straightforward. Yeah. It shows you where the players are going to run and what's going to happen. And you press this button and the little windows pop up.
Yeah.
You've got 3 buttons on the Mega Drive, A, B, C.
So easy. And look, he's about to become 3. He's got a bit of separation. Let's throw it there.
Yeah.
Done. There, you've made it.
And it just made it so straightforward.
HB off tackle. HB off tackle. Man, I love that play. Run it.
Was it some of the? I can't, because when we did the Madden pod, I'd never played those games like at all. So I went and got like 94, 95, 96 and did a bit of a comparison. And I seem to remember there was like you could choose different difficulty modes, obviously. So I think that was another string in the bow, because if you were someone who didn't really know what you were doing, but you wanted to play the game, and you kind of watched some games you want to get into, it made it kind of accommodated you.
Yeah, just don't put it on all Madden. Exactly.
Yeah. So if you wanted to, if you were a hardcore fan, you knew all the rules, how to play it. You could then step it up.
It's like a sim.
Do you know what I mean? There's another reason that why things like that are so great, because they've made it accessible to more people, but without dumbing it down too much for the hardcore players.
I do quite like the new NFL games for like the superstar mode where you're just the quarterback.
Okay.
So if you just give me like a couple of like plays to choose from, I'd do that any day. But I'll leave it to my more learned chums, mostly across the pond, to actually play a full game and actually set up schemes and things. And I just do not know. But yeah.
But you can
tell me where to throw it and how to throw it. I'll do it.
Of the modern ones, though, I think they still work the best because it's kind of kept the basic principles. Obviously, now when you snap the ball, the quarterback, you don't get the little windows, but the receivers have the X or the square or the triangle above their heads.
You press the button,
and you know which one
goes to them.
He's open. I'll throw it to him.
There you go.
And you can still play it in that way without getting bogged down in detail.
Yeah,
awesome.
Man.
Madden 92. It's over the first one. I played Madden 92 first. I got it bought for me. And again, when you compare them side by side, it's a little bit prettier. It has the great thing where if a player gets injured, the ambulance comes tearing onto the field.
Runs everyone over.
Yeah, they got rid of that quickly because the NFL didn't like it. But yeah, great little touch. And yeah, I still play it now. Absolutely love it. My number 2.
Your number 2? James is number 2 to finish the round of 2.
Mine is very different now, because I've had some similar ones and you're like, oh, James, you chose this thing.
No, what's your number 2?
Nobody's got this. I don't think anybody's got this.
Right.
I've gone for Super Punch-Out.
Super Punch-Out.
On the SNES.
Yeah, boxing games.
Boxing game, Defo Sports game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The original Punch-Out I played until my eyes bled. I think I only ever beat it once, which was after God knows how many weeks of trying to beat Tyson at the end. And obviously when you then had to go back to like the next bout level and et cetera, et cetera. So, but Super Punch-Out, it's just gloriously beautiful. It's like, it's colourful. You've got all these weird characters. Like you've got like a Bruce Lee type character in there who basically kicks you. He's allowed to kick you. It's a boxing game, you know, but somehow he's allowed to kick you. But you've got like the characters are mad, you know, they're absolute. There's like a Mexican wrestler type guy. There's like a big farmer, this with dungarees on, and there's like, it follows on like really well from the original Punch Out. But the controls different, steps it up a little bit, so you've got different combinations of punches. The view is slightly different, so the camera's like lowered slightly to behind the fighter, so you're transparent almost. Super punches, obviously Super Punch Out, but I don't know, it's not easy because it gets hard really quickly. Like after the first couple of guys, it then gets really difficult, and you have to really pay attention.
It's always about learning patterns, wasn't it? With the Punch Out game,
it is. But I think the difference with Super Punch Out is rather than just one pattern, they've got a couple of different ways they attack you. So you have to then work out which one it's going to be. It's quite difficult, but it's really good fun, and it's just the way it looks and the way the sound as well. When you connect like a super punch, that big crunch it's great. I love that.
What's he called? What's he called? The character, is it Little Mac or
Mac?
Mac, yeah. I remember seeing a picture. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was floating around on social media, like
him and Mike Tyson.
A little kid dressed as Little Mac. Mike Tyson. Yeah,
genius.
Excellent.
So good.
I don't think I played the SNES one. I remember playing Punch Out, but I don't think I've ever played Super Punch Out.
I played it once, didn't know what was going on, and stopped playing it.
Fair enough. No, I think
I played the original.
Yeah, everybody's played Punch Out, of course, but I only ever played it. I only ever played it thinking it wasn't going to be that good, because I thought a sequel and you know, it's had its heyday and everything. I was wrong. Loved it. Still love it now. Still play it now. Still get stuck.
It was one of the games on the SNES Mini, wasn't it? Like the original 21 game.
Correct.
I think it was.
It was. Yeah. And I still had the same problems playing it then these days as I did back then. And I think I did a video and put it on Instagram and was like, "Help! I'm stuck." And everyone was like, "No, you're just rubbish, man.
You're just rubbish."
No, it is tricky though. But
boxing, 16-bit boxing games, mixed bag. I mean, there was a few on the Mega Drive I remember playing. James Buster Douglas boxing.
Yeah,
big sprites, but very basic.
Weird game. I played the Amiga version.
There was one with Muhammad Ali in, but I can't.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali boxing.
Was it called Muhammad Ali boxing?
That was one of the good
that
ones.
Wasn't too bad.
That was one of the good ones. The camera was a bit odd when you kind of like shuffled around.
Yeah,
it tried to do like a 3D thing, and it
sure it was a Rocky game as well.
On the Master System.
Yeah, Master System.
I'm pretty sure I had that one.
Yeah, not 16.
Or there was one called Heavyweight Champ as well. I always get them mixed up because I think they were quite similar. Yeah. But that was a proper button basher.
Yeah. They were hit and miss. Yeah. Pardon the pun.
Hey.
But it's good to have some Nintendo representation.
Yes.
There, and we do like
and
that.
some variety as well. A non-EA game.
Yeah, it's not. I didn't think anyone else would have it, and I expected that. But I like it. I think it's great fun. So yeah.
Do you know what? I love you guys. I love you guys so much. And I've actually can't think of any other bad sports games to foe Adrian's list anymore. You both have been rused.
You faked it.
I faked you.
God damn it.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, poor Adrian. His name dragged through the mud. Again.
I didn't think I could anymore.
Straight face as well.
There will be recompense, I can tell you. He will get you back when you least expect it.
I can never trust him again.
We just had a message from Adrian's in the hospital. Nothing serious. He's just his missus is going in for an appointment, but it was just a routine thing. But obviously he was going to be a bit late to the session, and he's on his way now. And I thought, that could go a bit wrong if he turns up if I'm sort of slacking him off.
So you took a
no one would put Italian 90 on their list.
I smelt a bit of a fish there, and I thought, I'm not going to say anything because surely no one's put that.
That was so good though, because the one-liner things that was so Adrian.
Was it you with the Roberto Baggio as well?
That was so Adrian.
I love Roberto Baggio, but he's not in the game.
It was like, that totally sounds like something Adrian would do.
Nothing to do with the game at all.
I should have known though when you just spanned out lyrics. I should have known.
You snake.
I should have known.
Sorry, boys. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
So did he actually send you any list at all?
So that was 3, was it? We did. Was it 3 we did of Adrian's or 4?
We did 3.
Let's make up 2 more.
Well, what would he actually say?
Sensi.
which is, funnily enough, my number one.
There you go.
And that wraps it up,
leads into
really.
it well.
Right, sensible soccer. Ugh. It's a 64-bit game. That's what he would have said. It's a 64-bit game.
So therefore,
I mean,
doesn't count.
It's good on the Jag, but does it make use of all of those 64 bits?
It's like one of these.
16 of them.
It's like when is a game a 64-bit game and not the 64-bit game?
Yes.
Sensible soccer on the Jaguar. There you go. It's very, when I had a Jaguar, I did
all those buttons on that controller as well.
It was just the one, but man, it worked pretty good. I did have it for a little while when I had the Jag, and it was really good. But it's just, I think, it is. Well, okay, FIFA was the first one I played, the first kind of good football game. And when I got the Amiga, Adrian just lent me a raft of Amiga stuff, and in it was the international version, the Sensible Soccer. Man, I was hooked on that game. Played so many hours of it. My A1200 didn't see anything else for at least a good couple of months, because it was just, you had even not SWOS even those, like, you had basic leagues and other things in it. It did port to all of the consoles. Even the Master System version is not that bad. It's not as responsive. It's still the far and away the best football game on the Master System.
Yeah.
But they all play the same. Weirdly enough, with the 2-button, one thing I would say about the console version of Sensi is that you have a hoof button. So you have your one button that you just kind of like, for the purists and stuff, you just want to kind of do your normal kicks and that. But then you've got your hoof button that does all the hoofing, and I'm like, no. Sensi is not a 2-button game, guys. Like, I know what you were trying to, like, Renegade. I think Renegade were responsible for the ports, but I'm like, come on, guys. Come on. It's a 1-button game. It's all about the response. The touch, the curl.
Yeah.
So just everything about Sensi is just so good. It's just, it's football. And I pick it up now. I've got it on the Evercade. I've got it like the Codemasters bundle on the Evercade, and I just like pick it up. Just play Sensi on the bus or whatever. Great. You guys don't seem that enamored by Sensi.
I just never played enough of it, to be honest. And I guess going from FIFA then onto like Saturn and PlayStation. I don't know. I never played the Mega Drive version.
I think I played it at Adrian's house, actually.
I played it occasionally and never really sort of got heavily into it.
It's real good. I've got it on the Mega Drive and the SNES because it is. It's just real good.
I think because obviously you guys have been following football probably since you were tiny. So I suppose if you were looking for something that was a bit more close to the game, in terms of the controls and stuff like that, that's what probably passed me by. But I played it at Adrian's quite a bit, and he used to absolutely love it.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So I can quite understand like why it's your number one, because you love football and you love that game.
Again, though, how many times are you going to say it? 1 button. How accessible is that?
Yes, make it
get any more accessible.
It's football. Get it in the net. Is 1 button and that's it. It's
basketball. Get it in the net. One shoot button.
One shoot button.
One turbo button.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, guys. For the love of God, we don't need to do a flippity flip or zamza bamsy. What other shots are in?
What are they saying?
Zamza bamsy.
A shuffly buffly. I don't know anything about basketball.
He's off. He's going, ladies and gents. He's unstoppable.
But I bet there are people who love the gameplay of Sensi but aren't massive football fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like with NBA Jam, you don't have to be a big basketball fan, blah, blah, blah.
Same.
So, I do see the appeal, and I know why people love it. And
that was like me with FIFA 95.
Just simply that I haven't played enough of it to put it on my list.
Yeah. So, honourable mentions then, I guess. Those are your definitive ones.
Yeah.
Including Andre Agassi tennis. Which, come on, guys. Come on. Come on.
Do you know what? You're going to get yours, I tell you.
Pete Sampras tennis.
Thank you. That was in my honourable mentions.
With the J-Cart.
Yep.
The old Codemasters J-Cart.
So you didn't need to fork out for a multi-tap to pay.
So it was like Micro Machines 2. You just plug the controllers straight in. And it was, a decent game of tennis, but also Super Tennis.
Super Tennis,
one of the earliest SNES games, probably the best tennis game on the SNES.
I tried,
It's so simple, but it plays so well.
I still think the collision detection is not great on that compared to Pete Sampras. I think Pete Sampras edges it for me. Again, pun not intended.
Brian Lara Cricket.
Am
I shouting out all your ones?
Brian Lara Crickets. Well, no, it's good. The honourable mentions, you can just shout away everyone. Yeah, Brian Lara Crickets, both very good.
Yeah.
The first one at 96. I think it was 95 and 96.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like cricket,
Really playable.
amazing. And actually, that ported pretty well to the PS1 as well. The PS1 version.
I never played any after that, but yeah, that was pretty good.
If you like cricket,
I've got a recent edition. I recommend you try.
Oh, here we go.
Tecmo Super Bowl 2 on the SNES. So everyone remembers Tecmo Bowl, the NES one, which is really like it's a sort of side-on arcadey graphics, like basic graphics. It was 8-bit. But a 16-bit update on the SNES, which I only recently became aware of. So there is Tecmo Super Bowl on the SNES, but that is basically the original game. Tecmo Super Bowl 2, similar gameplay, lovely graphics, like proper sort of SNES 16-bit look, nice animation, official teams and licenses and players and everything from sort of 93 or 94.
Deals on eBay now.
But similar, no, seriously, but really like similar arcadey gameplay. Only a few plays to choose from, running plays, passing plays. It's really good fun. So I highly recommend it.
Very good. In that vein, Joe Montana's. Which, unbeknownst to everyone, had the same engine as John Madden, but was just dumbed down.
Yeah.
Oh, for Sega, that has got to be one of the biggest cons in retro gaming, I think, isn't it? The amount of money they made out of one game as two different games. But yeah, I like Joe Montana 1 and 2 actually.
They're playable.
I even quite like the Master System one. I rented it from Blockbuster a few times. You just kind of just do Hail Mary most of the time, and you'd win on that game. But yeah, it was pretty good. Super League Baseball. I don't think anyone would have played this. This is an old Japanese baseball game on the Mega Drive. Dan Harper had it with his Mega Drive bundle. When I definitely
played baseball on the Mega Drive, but I couldn't tell you which one it was.
Baseball's good fun.
Yeah, and I thought it was a pretty good. Looking back now, I haven't played it recently. Looking back now, it was a pretty good like sim. Baseball. I mean, yeah, you're just swinging and hitting the ball. Okay, baseball fans, don't come at me for that. But it was
with the occasional really bunt.
With the occasional bunt, and you can bunt. You can bunt. Foul ball, and goes out.
Ball.
Goes out of the diamond and that. But it was good. It was good, pretty good. Kickoffs, I suppose. Nah, less said about those.
Not for me.
Not for me. Thank you. What else? I know. Winter Olympics, I think we've mentioned.
You've just took the words right out of my mouth. That was what I was going to say.
Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
It's just a great game.
I enjoyed it, and I thought it was quite clever as well when you had like the biathlon, where you had the shooting.
Yeah.
And I thought it was quite like, it was nice little touches, like, because that could have gone horrendously wrong.
Really?
And it could have been inaccurate and all, but it was quite good.
Yeah.
And you had to really pay attention to what you were doing on the skiing bit to make sure your momentum was right, and the bobsleigh to make sure you were like within a certain line.
It was a step up from like an Olympic gold and
really
stuff like
enjoyed
that.
it. I played that a lot.
Was.
That was one that was my honourable mention.
And people never mention it.
No.
Like
Great fun.
In the retro gaming sphere, like that game is never mentioned.
Lilyhammer.
Well, there's a big thing about sports games anyway.
Yeah, I suppose. But it was a late Master System title because I got it. I still had a Master System when everyone was like moving on to PS1s or whatever. But it was a late in the day, and I think people are maybe moving on to other things then. But
no, I enjoyed that. That was my honourable mention. Great game.
A lot of people. I'm not the biggest fan, but again, if you get like a group of people together. Bit of California games on the Mega Drive.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, California games.
Bit footbag.
Yeah.
The first one, the Master System version, very good. Mega Drive version, obviously good.
Agreed.
California Games 2 on the Master System is a crock of doo-doo. Please do not touch that game. Please do not buy that game. Please do not give anyone money for that game. Thanks. Although it might be worth quite a lot of money.
Because you've said that, it's now shot up in value.
I don't think it sold.
I don't remember it. Did it have different games?
It had bad games.
It's bad, different.
It just was bad, and it was rushed, and it clearly shouldn't have made the light of day, but it did. And I'm sure if you have a copy, it's probably worth quite a lot of money. But yeah, I can't think of any. There's no other honourable mentions from my list.
PGA Tour Golf.
Oh,
didn't mind a bit of that occasionally.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Not the most exciting.
A bit of that as well,
not the most exciting again, but EA did a good job in. Because they were a step up from what golf games had been previously.
Yeah, Jack Nicklaus is quite good as well.
I don't think I played it.
Yeah, it's very similar. But those, for golf enthusiasts, they're pretty good.
You're pretty well served in 16-bit era. There was a decent game for pretty much every sport.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
I think
the major sports.
I was playing Microsoft Golf, I think, on the PC. So
wow,
around a bit later on. But
I was playing Sega World Tournament Golf on the Master System, and that's a very good game actually. And it's got a nice little animation as well from when they're swinging and stuff.
Nice.
The club selection is very good. That's recommended. I don't think that's worth much. even though I didn't sell many copies of that. But if you want to bump up the price of that, that'd be quite good because I've got my copy somewhere, so I can stick that on eBay and can pay for Christmas. So yeah, I think that wraps. I think
Jonah Lomu Rugby.
That is 32-bit game.
Oh, is it? Which one am I thinking of? Was it World Cup 95?
95. Yeah. I think you're thinking rugby. 95.
I'm not even a rugby fan, but it was playable enough.
Decent. And
I was just trying to think if we covered all the main sports. Just popped
Jonah Lomu on the PlayStation. Again, when I were tangenting, is very good. But probably the best rugby game past that generation. Actually, the last good rugby game is Jonah Lomu Rugby on the PS1. There you go. Go and treat yourselves if you're a rugby fan to that one. That's it, man. I can't think of anything else. There was, I think, tennis on either the Game Boy or the NES I used to quite like back in the day. There was... This is all like we're going non-16-bit, aren't we now? We're really tangent.
I used to, again, fond memories, like James said about World Soccer, rather than good memories. I used to have a game called Basketball Nightmare on the Master System.
That's a terrible game. That is a bad game.
On the Master System, yeah, because you play as team, you had like a team of, they were like little anime kids, but you play against like teams of werewolves and teams of skeletons.
It's just a blurry mess. But the animation for when you slap,
when you actually go to jump, it was really hard to score. But when you did, there was like a little sort of cutscene thing.
The animation was so good.
Yeah.
Oh man,
it was all really cartoony. But yeah, it played terrible.
Bad.
I did not know this. I did not know. I've just found out there's a Mega Man Soccer.
Know what?
I think I knew that.
There's a Mega Man Soccer.
When did that?
It's probably Mega Man everything.
1991.
Oh, is that on the SNES?
On the SNES. Ooh. Mega Man Soccer.
I think we're all playing that on our.
That's what we're all playing
on our Raspberry Pis later.
Bit of Mega Man Soccer.
I'll have to check that one out. Probably the only Mega Man game I haven't played.
Wicked.
Anyway, yeah, cool.
Well, gents, I think we've nailed it. I think those are the 16-bit sports games definitive list that everyone should be playing. If you haven't played them, then get down your local downloady outlet.
Yeah, get your copy of Andre Agassi Tennis.
Yeah, please don't give money to scalpers.
Snake.
On that note, I'll slither off into the night.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. We really hope you enjoyed it. You can tweet us at Arcade Attack UK. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Arcade Attack UK. Check out our website at arcadeattack.co.uk for lots more retro gaming goodness and to delve into our archives. Our podcasts are also available on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Please leave us a review and a rating, we'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to support Arcade Attack, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/arcadeattack, which will give you access to exclusive podcasts, interviews and other bonus content. So, until next time, take care and we'll speak to you soon.